have land, you have cars, as long as you're not owing on it, that will be your security or collateral that I will hold in order to do business with you. They break open your house one thing, they rape your mother, they rape your father, they rape your brother, they rape your sister, they rape your auntie, they rape your auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on Saieed. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network, Monday to Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with a rerun the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember that, viewers. So, it's Thursday night in Trinidad and Tobago. We have heard the Prime Minister talk on many occasions concerning the coat of arms, the steel pan. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we have something for you tonight. But before we go any further, remember Real Talk is offering you 4% on a fixed deposit with the interest payment up front. Now, how is this going to work? You have your hard-earned cash put down at a financial institution and you are not getting interest. Now, I always say, and I use a figure, if you have $100,000 on a fixed deposit with Real Talk financing, you're going to get 4% for 5 years. So at the end of 5 years on $100,000, you're going to get $20,000. Now, the good thing about this, the good thing about Real Talk financing is that you don't have to wait 5 years for the $20,000. You don't have to wait 5 years for the $20,000. Once you sign a fixed deposit with Real Talk financing, you are getting that $20,000 interest payment up front. Up front. You could repair your house, you could repair your car, you could do works around the houses, you could go for a vacation, you could pay for medical expense, things like that. So remember, viewers, with Real Talk financing, you're getting your interest payment up front on our fixed deposit. I couldn't bring it any more better than this to you. So, also, the credit union, Real Talk Credit Union viewers, become part of a credit union in Trinidad and Tobago that is going to go international. Just as Real Talk went to Guyana, remember I was telling you that? Just how Real Talk went to Guyana, and we in Guyana, just so Real Talk Credit Union will be expanding up the Caribbean. So remember that, viewers. Contact our office, set up an appointment, come on down, open a savings account, buy shares. And I will tell you this, viewers. We are the only credit union in Trinidad and Tobago will be up the Caribbean. Real Talk financing is in Guyana. Remember, I have license to lend money, so we have business in Guyana. Soon we are making preparation to go Barbados and Grenada also. So remember that we are a growing credit union. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, Saeed, careful you fall and you're this and you end up like others. No. We are not others. We are not others. Always remember that. Others cannot do what I'm doing. Others cannot offer the offers I am giving to you. Remember that. Remember that, Trinidad and Tobago. So, also, I'm a spiritual consultant. Those of you having spiritual problems, you can also contact me and we could meet and talk. In the ministry, most recent update was reported that as of August 21st, 2024, a total of 503 yellow fever notices have been issued to property owners, occupiers, directing them to clean up their surroundings. Also, 16 property owner-occupiers have thus far been identified for the consideration of the institution of legal proceedings for non-compliance. So, if you get a issue and you do not comply with it, they are going to take legal actions. So be very careful. Homeowners, landowners, clean up your property. It wouldn't cost you nothing to keep your property safe, because that is yours. That is yours. And if you are part and parcel of breeding mosquito on your property, you're going to be charged. The health ministry is urging the public to do as much as possible to reduce the spread of dengue by making it easy
All you have to do is clean your property. Now, don't let your property be the breeding ground, because you or your family might end up with mosquito biting them. They get the dengue, they die, it's your fault, nobody else but yours. Now listen to this. Disposal of all unwanted articles, derelict vehicles, or appliances in the yard or environs which can collect water and become mosquito breeding ground. Number 2, cover water containers such as tanks, barrel, drums, or bucket with a mosquito-proof covering. Number 3, cut down and remove all bushes or undergrowth that can harbor mosquito. Number 4, clean drains and guttering to allow the flow of water. So Trinidad and Tobago, apart from the Ministry of Health, I'm using my platform to tell you, clean up your property, please. Clean up your property. Because people are dying from the dengue virus. So it is your health and your wealth to clean your property. So before some member of your family have to die because of dengue and you want to blame somebody else, let's start with you. Let us start with you, and your neighbors might clean up their property too. Moving along. The Ministry of Energy and Energy's Industry has advised that the refloated Gulf Stream barge have successfully been towed to Port of Spain, Trinidad. The barge, which remained in an overturned state, was towed by 2 tugs provided by National Energy Corporation and an additional support vessel. The journey from Cove, Tobago to Silat, Port of Spain, was approximately 30 hours long and was conducted under the directions of the technical expert from Trinidad and Tobago Salvage LLC and QT Environmental. The last stage of the journey to Silat, Port of Spain, was completed at 6:43 a.m. today, 22nd August 2024. Upon arrival at Silat, the last phase of the operation to prepare the barge for storage will be conducted by the technical expertise, after which the Gulf Stream will be officially handed over to the principal receivers of REC, Director of Maritime Service, attached to the Maritime Service Division of the Ministry of Works and Transport. So let's hope Tobago and the 4 shores that have been damaged, the coral reef, the seabeds, the fishermen and them, could start gaining profit now that this boat is out of the area now. Let's just hope thing goes back to normal. So in our big news tonight, we hear about our Prime Minister. Listen to this. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley is doubling down on his decision to place the steel pan on Trinidad and Tobago coat of arms and is strongly rubbishing Distancing Voice, who says such a move would alienate citizens of Indian descent. Alienate citizens. He stated that August 11th was proclaimed as World Steel Pan Day and noted that he will move ahead with removing those 3 ships of colonialism and oppression. Listen to this.
What happened with the National Musical Instrument Act 2024? That was passed unanimously in both houses of Parliament on the 19th of July 2024 in the lower house, and it went on to the Senate, and that gave the steel pan the title of national instrument. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, because I mentioned something about the emblem, and said, as part of the recognition of the steel pan as our instrument, the only instrument invented in the last 100 years, we claim that we're putting it out to the world. We made it a national instrument by law, and we decided as part of that process that those three misleading ships, those three icons of colonialism, of barbarism, of rape and oppression, they will be removed from the emblem and be replaced by this, the newly born national instrument. I'm not surprised that as soon as I say that, one of the intellectuals jump out and say, well, we can't do that. The leader of the opposition says this will be divisive. I don't know what could be divisive when the title of the thing is national instrument. Who in this nation does not want to be identified with the national instrument? Please stand up and walk out. You're free to do so. It's a free country, but I don't see anybody wanting to do that.
Trinidad and Tobago, our Prime Minister is boasting about the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, which is the steel pan. Have been created, manufactured in Trinidad, let's say for the last 100 years. Not manufacturing, but created as the national instrument. Look at the head office. That's the head office. That is the head office for the national instrument, which is steel pan of Trinidad and Tobago. How long have that building been built? All of a sudden you're boasting about the national instrument. You want to remove the three ships. You want to rewrite history. But look at the damn blasted headquarters. Look at the damn headquarters. Come back to me. Now Trinidad and Tobago, a little common sense. What you should have done was finish headquarters. Finish headquarters. You want to make your move to make it the national instrument on the coat of arms? No problem. But the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago that will be going on the coat of arms, or let's just see the headquarters, how it looking? It's looking like it's about 400 years. That is how it's looking. Let me tell you something, nothing wrong with change, you know. Absolutely nothing is wrong with changes. But the thing is, can Dr. Rowley come out and tell the citizens how much it is going to cost? Taxpayers, this is what we want to know. When you change that emblem, remember you are changing every single document, every money, every building print that carries the coat of arms. It comes with a price. Always remember that, Trinidad and Tobago. Anything the government does, it comes with a price. It is not the government money. It is the taxpaying citizen money that is creating this change. Look at that building, looking like 400 years old. That is the headquarters. Tobago headquarters of the steel pan. What an embarrassment to Trinidad and Tobago. It's sad. It's really sad. Now, he went on to say, he also dismissed a suggestion from the historians, Dr. Jeremy Tillotson, that the TASA should also be included to reflect the country's ethnic diversity. Dr. Rowley said, it would not be proper to put an instrument such as a TASA. It is not indigenous to Trinidad and Tobago and cannot be claimed as a national instrument. The PM said he was shocked to know this suggestion came from an intellectual. So I want to hear now The historians of Trinidad and Tobago asked Dr. Rowley, why are you removing the 3 ships? Because of what? Colonialism? Because of slavery? Because of rape long ago? It's still happening today. The rape's still happening. Trinidad and Tobago says we are independent. Are we? Are we independent? Ask yourself that. Who is making the decision to change the coat of arms other than the Prime Minister himself? Where is the historians? Why are they not coming out? Why are they not voicing their opinions to the history of Trinidad and Tobago? One man is going to make a move and he's going to rewrite the history in Trinidad and Tobago. And the historians in Trinidad and Tobago, you know what they put? They put crazy glue on them out. After mentioning about the tassa, the drum and the dolak and the African drums, I heard some tassa group came out now and wants the tassa to be a national instrument too. Watch man, it comes from a leader mouth before followers started. So what I would like Dr. Rowley to come out and tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, how much is it going to cost? We want to know the cost. We want to know if we could do that now. That is what we want to know. We want to know the cost of the move. Because the cost of the move, it is important to us. You know why? It will affect the treasury. It's coming from taxpayers' money. Because taxpayers presently, we're suffering. You know why? We're suffering for road. We're suffering for good schools for our kids to go and learn. We're suffering for high food price. We're suffering from crime. We're suffering from lack of medication in the hospital, machine, doctors, nurse, equipment, beds. How much is it going to cost, Dr. Rowley, to change the coat of arms? You want to change it? Okay, no problem. But the cost of it is how much? You and Klongenbut ain't saying nothing about cost. All you ain't mentioning to Trinidad and Tobago, well, you know, it's going to cost 200 million or it's going to cost $4 billion. All you ain't saying nothing like that. So are we stupid in Trinidad and Tobago to jump up and say, hooray? That is why Saieed will always be like this. He added, so all of those who said it should be paired with other instruments, you lost. Because the only indigenous instrument in Trinidad and Tobago is the steel pan. Now listen to this.
Go on Facebook, endless race talk. Endless race talk. Go in the papers, you will see them sneaking in there trying to send that race talk too. That steel pan is African and other less descriptive words. But let me educate all of you tonight because many of you are new to the steel pan movement. Let me take you down to the history of pan in San Fernando. How many of you are aware of a name called Bobby Muhammad? Ever heard of a band called Guinness Cavaliers? Were you ever in Skinner Park when Cavaliers come into Skinner Park and come to Port of Spain and win 2 Panorama? Were you ever there? So the youngest person who ever led a band to a Panorama victory was an East Indian. So what you're coming to tell me now that if you name the pan as our national instrument, it will be divisive because the Indian population will feel as though they're left out. And you want to come and tell me that if we accept steel band as the national instrument, that excludes the Indian population? Anybody saying that, either wicked or they're ignorant, they don't know the history of this country.
Dr. Rowley, I, Saieed Ali, telling you on national television, zip your mouth. I'm brave enough to tell you that, zip your mouth. You want to change it? Go right ahead. Go right ahead. But what is the cost behind it? This is what we want to know. What is the cost behind it? You're so boasting about the steel pan, up that building, director. If so, the steel pan is indigenous and Trinidad and Tobago national instrument. How is the Pan Trinbago headquarters in Trin City currently in a dilapidated state, looking like it's 400 years old? Look at that building. But you want to go up on a platform and you want to talk about Indian and you want to talk about African and you want to talk about what? National instrument? Look at the damn headquarters. Look at the damn headquarters. 400, look like 400 years old. So Prime Minister Saieed Ali on national television telling you, zip your mouth. Zip your mouth. How long that building? You want to talk national instrument? How long that building? You want to talk history? How long the building? You want to talk about change in the coat of arms? How long the building? Let me tell you something. I just always tell all you know. I just always say this, you know. When you come in, come good, you know. Come good. Because it have backlash to it. How much it's going to cost. You want to tell Trinidad and Tobago all sorts of things. But you aren't clunging, but you're telling Trinidad and Tobago citizens, the taxpaying citizens, how much it costing. And that is your downfall right there. So zip your mouth. I'm telling you that. Zip your mouth. And I ain't afraid. What is the cost? Nobody talks about cost. Nobody talked about how much taxpayers had to fund. Nobody had talked about how much money coming out from central bank to go and foot this bill. Nobody had talking about that. But you're talking about history. You're talking about Indian. You're talking about African. You're talking about national instrument. But you're talking about Pan Trinbago headquarters. You're talking about how much it costs the taxpayers in this country. These are the things that you and Clongenberg afraid to talk about. When all are done do it, you know it costs 2 billion or it costs 200 million. Then you will bring out the numbers. And let me tell you something. You see just how you educated Dr. Rowley? Just how I am educated. It's sad to say, but this is the reality. When you want to bump your gum on national television, not because you are the Prime Minister, but because you are a minister who could make a decision. Come with the real numbers, come with the real facts. Let the real people of Trinidad and Tobago know about it. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear Munilal on the coat of arms after this.
Better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Realtalk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Realtalk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
And of course, everything government goes to do, there's a minority voice saying, do something else. So you know what they're asking us to do? In today's papers, make the tabla also national instrument. Ladies and gentlemen, many of you here have been to one of our schools. And I'm sure you know why we have selected the steel pan as our national instrument. The singular reason why the steel pan is our national instrument is because it is the only instrument that is indigenous to us. Indigenous, if you go into the Oxford Dictionary or any good dictionary, you will see it comes from the Latin word indigenous. And it means originating or occurring naturally in a country or a region. The steel pan is qualified by that description. It originated here. The tabla is not an originating instrument here. It came from India. The saxophone came from Germany. The guitar came from Spain. So they cannot, no matter how often you play them, no matter how you love the music, the piano and others, you cannot claim them as Trinidad and Tobago's national instrument by virtue of being indigenous. So all those who are talking about it should not be, and it should be paired with other instruments, you're lost, because the only indigenous instrument in Trinidad and Tobago is the steel pan. And demonstrate your patriotism by embracing it.
Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Concerning the Dakota right? He wants to change the history of Dakota, right?
Yes.
Did the steel pan find Trinidad and Tobago? What is it that he want to spend all this money to change Dakota so he will get extra money to fight elections? And furthermore, why don't he change the history of the PNM?
I understand. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Well said. Well said. You see, when you change the coat of arms, when you remove the 3 ships, you remove part of history. Where is the historians? Where are they? Huh? The Constitutional Reform Committee, they did not give an advice to change the coat of arms, because you will be what? Interfering with the history. So we throw that history in our corner, man. We don't need that, man. We need something indigenous. Well, no problem. You're getting it. But at what cost? At what cost? So, that is that, viewers. Just before we go to Monilal, we have a person of interest wanted by Real Talk Financing, Alicia Megan Kesu. Alicia, there was an arrangement. between you and the finance company. Please honor your part. And that's all I have to say for tonight. Until another night. That is all I would say. So we're going to Munilal. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Said.
Go right ahead.
This man, he talking about the steel pan and stuff that he want to have in the coat of arms. Remember, from before, he take off from the emancipation there and make it African emancipation. Now we come to have the steel pan to come into effect on the coat of arms. This thing ain't looking right at all. Not at all is it looking right. Because apparently it looks like something for the African people. I'm not being racial here. I'm just being straightforward. And in the top of it now, with what he's speaking about the rape and all these sort of things, I just want him to understand something. He is raping the economy, the citizens of this country finances. He is raping them of the finances in this country. And he needs to look at that because apparently like he did jump off from one of them ships. So let me see what the people in this country is going to do and what they're going to say. If they're going to continue to let him continue with his stupidness and take the money from the country behind stupidity rather than to have a development taking place in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, according to Munilal has doubled down on the opposition criticism of the government move to redesign Trinidad and Tobago coat of arms, replacing Christopher Columbus 3 ships with a steel pan. Munilal said the PNM government could not protect the public from mosquito, worse yet bandit, but instead of focusing on eradicating crime, where instead we are concentrating on removing Columbus ships from the coat of arms. He said, nothing is wrong with the symbol, but what is important is to fight crime, prevent flooding, ensure you have roads, water, etc. Listen to this.
Now, nothing is wrong with symbols. Symbols are important. But what is important is to fight crime, prevent flooding, fight dengue, ensure that you have roads, that you have drainage, that you have water.
Viewers, he said, Munilal, don't worry when you have no water in the tap or when you push your supermarket bill from 700 to 1,000. Tell them don't worry. We don't have no money, but we have money for a new coat of arms. Listen to this.
Now, nothing is wrong with symbols. Symbols are important. Election is upon us. We are within the year of election. Whether it come in November, December, next year, whenever. Election is here. We can't say no. Rowley come now and he say we constitutional reform. People don't have job. They don't have water. They don't have security. You said they have nothing to show. So they come with this gimmickry. They come with gimmick. They say constitutional reform. Now we're going to say, okay, don't worry. All your children dead for murder. Don't worry, you don't have water in the tap. Don't worry, dengue kill all the children. We get the coat of arms changed. So when you push your trolley in the supermarket and the bill comes 700, 1,000, whatever the bill comes, tell them, listen, me have no money, but we have a new coat of arms.
The minister added that they have no performance record. So they probably came to tell you that the coat of arms changed. He said the PM is doing that as a distraction from talking about crime. One more time.
They have nothing to show. They have no track record. They have no performance record. So they come now to tell you the coat of arms changed. Feel proud. Huh? By tell them the Beetham, you know the Labas and Beetham is named after Beetham. That's an old British colonial, what they call, war governor? Yeah, Ken Ali is a major man of history, a governor. A British colonial governor named Beetham. I think we should change that to the Rowley Labas. Localize it. Localize that. But he is doing that as a distraction. That is a distraction so that you don't talk about crime.
Now, viewers, I told you all since Monday coming down to tonight, do not be distracted from what the Prime Minister is talking about. Stand firm in your fight against high food prices, community not safe, roads, health sector in a mess, no proper schooling. Keep this the focus in front while the Prime Minister is talking about changing the coat of arms. Caller, good night.
Very, very good evening to you, Mr. Said.
To you, my friend.
The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago is going to reach the tipping point very soon, and this might cause us to take the law in our own hands. The government have to step up the game and save this place. And two, the 3 boats in the coat of arms, whatever the name was, them didn't have diesel and gas and engine, you know. Them was working by the wind, by sails. And these 3 boats with antiquated equipment like sextant and compass, old-fashioned things, was able to achieve so much and discover the new world. But we had 22 boats packed up there. Can catch 1 illegal immigrant, all the best.
Thank you, my friend. Amidst talk about the removal of Columbus ship from the coat of arms, political leader of the National Transformation Alliance, Gary Gifford, has said, now is not the time. He said, if there must be a removal of colonial artifacts, he would prefer that it have a meaningful impact on improving the lives of citizens. Listen to Gary.
So this here is Keith Rowley's big statement and his cheap spin to give the impression to the country that he is some type of a Trini Mandela, which he is not, by him trying to release us from the shackles of colonial tyranny by changing 3 ships to a steel pan on the coat of arms. Yep, that is definitely going to do so much to improve our standard of living. As if we are not under enough financial burden, we are unable to equate income to expenditure. But Keith Rowley, out of the blue, jumps up with yet another political distraction that will further increase our economic hardships, as this is going to cost us tens upon tens of millions of dollars for such a change. And if he is so bitter about our history, then what? The next step will be what? To pull us out of Commonwealth? How ridiculous would it get?
Now, viewers, a few tips that Gary left for us. Gifford also gave a few examples of what he would like to see change also. And I believe Trinidad and Tobago citizens will agree with this. Number 1, the right to bear a firearm and a removal of the concentration of power in the hands of a single individual. The Commissioner of Police to decide who can bear arms, undermining citizens' ability to protect themselves. We would like to see that power be moved. Also, removal of outdated loitering laws used to suppress free assembly. Removal of requirements of police approval to hold protest, which is really a colonial handover designed to restrict freedom from expression. Citizens will no longer be arrested for refusing to assist the police. Removal of the ability of law enforcement to intercept communication without due process. Removal of law that allow the police to conduct search of individuals' vehicle without due process. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual.
Thank you, my friend.
All of this change in the quota arms and the ships and all kind of things started off with the United Nations General Assembly President, Mr. Dennis Frederick, I think he named. This gentleman came, nothing wrong, we are happy he came, and he talked about the pan, and he said after Carnival he is ashamed, and everybody should be ashamed in this country, which rightfully so. After Carnival, they dumped the steel pan all in the lavas, all side the road and all this kind of thing. And this is what triggered all of this, you know. So Rowley didn't know this, the PNM didn't know this, and their supporters didn't know that this years ago. But I have no problem. Change the ship. Put the steel pan. Put the country of bubble, corruption, thieving, underhand dealing, and discrimination. Put it around the pan. Take off the birds and put that now. And that is what we want to see in this country. And this PNM government should hang their heads in shame and disgrace for discriminating against one group of people, almost half the population in this country. Mr. Said, you keep up the good work you are doing. God bless you.
Thank you. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But let me tell you something. Let me go for this break and come back. And you will hear Clong and Bird telling Trinidad and Tobago citizens that they're saving money. Let me tell you something. We have some of the most clowns.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So Trinidad and Tobago, remember we had Real Talk, we are offering you 4%. Real Talk Financing is offering you 4% of fixed deposit. If you invest $100,000 on a fixed deposit, just saying it could be any amount, over 5 years, 4% interest, $100,000 will give you $20,000 in 5 years. The good thing about this, when you sign up for that fixed deposit and you invest that $100,000, you're getting your $20,000 up front, you don't have to wait. Only at Real Talk, we're doing this. Also, viewers, persons of interest, Alicia Megan Keso. Person of interest, contact Real Talk Financing. Please keep up your end of the bargain. I did on my side, Real Talk Financing did on their side. So that's all I'm going to say for now until further notice. So viewers, we have a call on the line. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead.
We're only sleeping with the devil. We don't care about people. All he care about to go in Tobago and be over and come back in Trinidad.
You got to. Family, let me use that now. But I understand what you're saying. So we're going to the Minister of Finance. I'll listen this closely. Put on all more volume and all our television. The Minister of Finance, Klangenberg, have stated that new research has found that most of the population is saving money. I'm going to read that for you again. The Minister of Finance, Klangenberg, have stated that new research have found that most of the population is saving money. However, the majority of people surveyed are using the unsafe option of saving money at home and not financial institution. All I hear the crap Imbert come out with. Imbert stated that from research, 75% of the population saves to some extent, which means that Trinidad and Tobago is a high saving economy. However, 82% of this group chose to save their money at home, which is either safe nor productive. Listen to this clown.
The research tells us that 75% of our population save to some extent. I'm surprised. Which means that in the world context, Trinidad and Tobago is a high savings economy. And we are. Those of you who know anything about the United States, for example, know that most people in the United States work from paycheck to paycheck. They don't save. In fact, they're in debt. They all run up high credit card debt. But with our 75% of our population saving, as you heard, an astonishing 2% of that 75% choose to save the money at home. That's not safe.
Hear that? That is the man all I have for the Minister of Finance. That is the man who controlling it. Now listen to this. He also stated that from the survey findings, we know that the state of financial inclusion in Trinidad and Tobago is complex and constantly changing. Financial exclusion is also rising because of documentation and high costs. 25% of households lack access to formal financial accounts. Listen to this now.
As we go deep into the findings, we know that the state of financial inclusion in Trinidad and Tobago is complex and it's evolving. Financial exclusion is rising, with 25% of households lacking access to formal financial accounts due to barriers such as documentation we just spoke about and costs.
All I hear what this man telling all you? This is the same man who get exempted from property tax. That is the same man who bring a penalty to tell all you if all you ain't follow that form, all you will be charged $5,000 as a criminal offense. That is the same man. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago. That is the same man. Right? His financial institution. They hired some people to put a price on your property by watching a photo. Remember the lady calling Wednesday night and say nobody came to visit her home, but she submits a picture of her house, which is 80 years old, and she have to pay $1,800 a year. Now, these regulators, these I call them again, boy. They look at your property and tell you what you have to pay on an annual rental value. These valuators, are they properly trained to assess the value of your house? Klangenberg telling you now, viewers, according to their survey, you saving money home. CPAP people money going in the bank. Large portion of Trinidad and Tobago population. Every government worker, their money going in the bank. The market people money going in the bank. The person who working in the grocery, their money going in the bank. The person who have a small business, money going in the bank. But Clunging Bert, the Minister of Finance is telling you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, that you have your money home saving. Well, let me tell you something. We have some men who they see in Trinidad and Tobago, like Clunging Bert. But oh God, like they're blind. They just have an eye. For we to see, they have an eye in their head. It's sad. And that is the man controlling all your money. That is the man went to parliament, exempt himself. That is the man that bring a 5,000 bill on all your head if you lack or if you ain't submit your property tax. That the man telling you now, your money saving under the mattress or in a climp pan or you dig a hole and you bury it. What a shame. A stinking, dirty, nasty shame. Call a good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Saeed, concerning what this man saying here, how he know people saving money at home? Who would then do this survey to find out that people saving money home? You remember the time when they were changing over the money and they went in parliament and they were laughing at the people?
Yes.
Who they sell Baji and Bodhi and
correct.
Who they sell Palori? You remember how they was laughing at people? Let me tell you something, if people that understand right now, I don't mean to sound so, but it's the truth. It's only one rate of people that save money home. I want to make that abundantly clear at one time. People out there that work and save their money home. You know, let me tell you one reason why people not going to financial institution, because of the interest rate. They want to tax you for everything. You put your money in an account, they're jamming you. You're taking out your money, they're jamming you. So where's the point? You tell me where's the point. This is the reason why they're trying to push this whole cashless society on people. They want everything to go digital.
Correct.
And the man say, the click a button, the decimal point went from one place to the next one and $2.6 billion in missing.
Correct. Well said.
And he come out and say that, but they
yes.
want to go digital. They're pushing everything to
go digital. And one button they press and $3 billion went missing.
Correct is right. So you tell me if that makes any sense. And watch me, before I go right, I just have two questions to answer concerning this whole ship with Columbus and thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something. The end of Keith Rowley's presentation, he said he wants to move away from the Privy Council. Why is he going to move away from the Privy Council for? That is the last point of appeal to get any sort of justice in this country. Because let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago and the whole Caribbean, the Caribbean Court of Justice, you can influence people. You cannot influence people in the Privy Council. That is what they are afraid of. That is what they are afraid of. They're trying to
get rid of it.
But let me tell you, the last thing before I go aside, let me tell you something, right? Why did he go on a PNM platform to make that announcement? If it's a thing for the whole country, the whole entire country, why didn't do it on a media briefing?
Well said.
Why you went to a PNM rally to do that? You answer me that question. Anyway, you enjoy your night, guys.
Thank you, my friend. So staying on in Bert, it much stated that these factors cause cash to be the primary method of transaction and saving. Although 88% of individuals use debit card to facilitate, 63% of transactions are done in cash. There are risks of theft and mishandling. Let's listen to this clown again.
These factors drive the prevailing preference for cash as the primary method for transacting and saving in Trinidad and Tobago. Despite 88% of individuals having debit card facilities, 63% of all transactions in Trinidad and Tobago are conducted in cash. I'll give you some interesting information in a little while, exposing individuals to theft, loss, and risk.
Expose an individual, Clunging Bert. All right, cool, no problem. We go into the bank, we take out money. As we step out the bank, we get robbed. As you step out the blinking bank, you get robbed. The Ministry of Finance push a button and $3 billion gone missing. Clown. You want to go digital? Nothing wrong with moving into the digital world. But when you push a button, you mustn't lose $3 billion. You must gain $3 billion. Clung again. When you go to buy badgie in the market, you want to swipe a card? Clung. When the fish van passing, 3 pound of fish for $20. You have to pull out your debit card and swipe a card? Clung again. When you're traveling in a maxi, you want to swipe a card? Boy, watch me. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. The more older these men getting, is the more, how to say it? The lack of process, their brain processing. Let me use a big word for it. The more older you get, is the more your brain lacking process. It's sad to know big men like these coming out on television and telling the world that Trinidad and Tobago individuals saving money home. Clunging but let me tell you something. Businessman getting robbed. Normal individual on the street getting robbed. You're getting licks for having $10 and you're getting licks for not having the $10. Open up your eye, your ears, and your throat hole. I don't care if you vex or not, you know. I don't care. But open up your capacity to think. That part of the brain that process information like it's shutting down. Your throat hole like it's open. Your eyes like you're not seeing what you're doing. Neither your ears. Your ears like you're not understanding what's coming out of your mouth. Where you're the lack of function of your brain. Clunging, but if I save money home, it's my business, it's not your damn business. You go on digital, you push a button, you lost $3 billion of taxpayers' money. Nobody give account for that. Why? Because you use the Minister of Finance and what you say goes. Nobody can tell you nothing. You king, a long time you used to use that word king dash rat. Nobody can tell you nothing. You is the best financial advisor in Trinidad and Tobago. You is because you are the Minister of Finance, nobody can tell you nothing. You feel like you are all the accountant brains in Trinidad. What a bloody hell shame. What a distasteful taste. Boy, viewers, we're out of time for tonight. But nevertheless, we'll continue this on our next night. Good night, viewers.